First time I saw Morgan Freeman, it was in a movie called Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. A movie that not a lot of people care for, but when I was a small boy watching that film, it was quite good. It was adventurous, it was good, it was sweet. Kevin Costner doesn't know how to do an accent, he just didn't bother to try. I still found him a very enjoyable Robin Hood, but the person I cared for the most in that movie was Morgan Freeman. And then, from there on out, I became a Morgan Freeman fan. Years later, I found Morgan Freeman in two movies. He played a character called Alex Cross. Along Came a Spider and Kissed the Girls. Some people don't care for those movies. I myself admit they're not good, but still, they're guilty pleasures, and he is quite enjoyable. Years and years later, my eyes witnessed the greatest Morgan Freeman movie ever made. I shall not tell you what it is. Save it for the #1 spot. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 lesson. Welcome to my top 10 favorite Morgan Freeman movies. Yes, I apologize for the horrible Morgan Freeman impression at the beginning. I just couldn't resist. Yes, Morgan Freeman. This is an actor I have been getting so many recommendations to do top 10 lists for. I am doing it. I'm finally doing it. Morgan Freeman. I love Morgan Freeman. He reminds me of an awesome, very cool guy in real life, and yeah, I love his movies. I love his acting. I love the movies he picks, and he's just all around likable and great, and just a hell of a performer. And yeah, I thought I'd celebrate Morgan Freeman by giving my top 10 favorite Morgan Freeman movies. All right, and for a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are, there's quite a few of them. My honorable mentions are March of the Penguins, Lucky Number 11, Unleashed, Along Came a Spider, Kiss the Girls, Red, Outbreak, Johnny Handsome, Lean on Me, and Olympus Has Fallen. All good movies, just gonna make the top 10 list, but what did make my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is Steven Spielberg's Amistad. Amistad is a very good movie. Yes, this is a great Spielberg movie that I don't really talk enough about because everyone knows I praise Spielberg and I talk a lot about Jaws and E.T. and especially Raiders of the Lost Ark, but Amistad and other films like Empire of the Sun and The Color Purple, Munich and stuff, I don't talk about those movies enough. They're still really good, solid Spielberg films. This is a very good movie, Amistad. This is a very important story and stuff. This is about slavery. It's about these soldiers that take in these slaves from Africa and stuff, and these slaves fight back. They take over the ship and they kill these people, but then they have to go on trial in America. And yeah, basically they have to fight for their rights. And these other people help them fight for their rights, one of them being Morgan Freeman, the other which being Anthony Hopkins and Matthew McConaughey and Chiwetel Ejiofor. One of the slaves is Jean Azu. Jean Azu is fantastic in this movie, and I loved Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman plays in this movie with a really good A-list cast. Matthew McConaughey really holds his own in this movie, but Anthony Hopkins is so good in this film. But Morgan Freeman is so delightful, so likable, so compassionate, and I absolutely loved his performance in this movie. And the movie itself is a really well-made film. Spielberg really got the historical accuracy perfectly. It's so well written, so well executed. It's brutal and very bleak and realistic at times, but it is very uplifting and inspiring and very educational, and it's a really great film. Morgan Freeman adds to the greatness in the film itself. It's just great. Coming number 9 is Gone Baby Gone. Yes, she's gone, baby. Gone. See, this would be much lower if I was doing like a Casey Affleck list or a directorial Ben Affleck list, but this is Morgan Freeman's list, so it has to be a little lower because he's not very big in this movie, even though I adore this movie. Gone Baby Gone is such a great film. It's got great suspense, a great mystery, great performances. It's so well written. The dialogue and the characters are just so well written in this movie. It's beautifully directed too and wonderfully shot. Such a great film. It's an amazing film. It's a film that will have you talking for years. Like, everyone talks about the ending for this film, the ending to this movie, and what decision you would make if you were this lead character. And that's all great, because this movie's fantastic. It's a 10 out of 10 film. It's so amazing. However, Morgan Freeman is only in like 3 scenes, and 2 out of the 3 he's not very huge in. The biggest part he has to play is near the ending. That is when he's very crucial to the story. And I won't spoil this movie, but He is phenomenal. The ending of this movie, he really shows his acting chops. He is fantastic. Throughout most of the movie, because he's barely in it, I just found him just kind of a disposable person. It's just like, he really didn't contribute anything to the story, and his performance wasn't that amazing. But the ending, he really shows his chops in the ending. He gives a phenomenal performance. And the movie as a whole is just a brilliant film, and of course I make this top 10 list. Coming number 8 is the Lego Movie. Yes, everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Okay, this is a great movie. It's the Lego Movie. I love the Lego Movie. What Lord and Miller did with this movie was amazing. And Morgan Freeman is just one of the great voice actors that are in this movie. You got Morgan Freeman, you got Liam Neeson, you got Will Ferrell, Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnett, Charlie Day. Just a lot of great performances, and they're all freaking great. He's in this movie as, like, what is his name, Petruvius or something, the sorcerer. Just so great, so freaking funny. He's hilarious as this blind sorcerer. Ooh, it's so funny. I know it sounds like a cat poster. It's so great. I absolutely adore this film. I had to be on this top 10 list because he is a big part of the movie, and he's just so great in this movie. And this movie could have been so awful. This movie could have been just a cash grab like Emoji Movie tried to do. This could have just been a really stupid, ridiculous film, but it was so freaking good. It was so well directed. The animation is gorgeous. It is so funny and so clever. This movie's so good. It's getting spin-off movies like with Lego Batman and stuff. This movie is just fantastic. For a movie that had no way in hell of working, they pulled it off, and it's just so good. Coming number 7 is Invictus. Invictus, oh, such a good film. Yeah, Morgan Freeman in this movie plays Nelson Mandela. And this is after, like, his incarceration and stuff. This is when he's prime minister or president or whatever. And this is during the rugby match and stuff. This has Matt Damon in the movie as well. He's part of the rugby team and stuff. And this movie talks about the aftermath of what really happened to Nelson Mandela. The movie's mostly about the playoffs and this rugby match that's about to take place. This movie's fantastic. It is such a great character study about Nelson Mandela and this rugby team and stuff. Morgan Freeman is amazing in this movie. Clint Eastwood's direction is so good. Matt Damon is fantastic. It doesn't dive into the whole story of Nelson Mandela. They talk about it, but the movie's mostly about the rugby match and Nelson Mandela in empowerment and stuff. That's what it's about. If you want to watch the movie, an actual movie about Nelson Mandela, watch the movie Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom with Idris Elba. That's a very good movie too, very underrated film. Watch that movie if you want to know the whole story about Nelson Mandela. But this movie is a better film, and it's a way, way better made film with its direction, its editing, its cinematography, and wonderful, wonderful performances, especially Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman is just amazing in this film, and just a great film. Coming number 6 is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I know. Okay. I love this movie. I do. Is it a great movie? No. This movie's strictly sort of guilty pleasure kind of feel for me. I grew up with this movie. This movie introduced me to Morgan Freeman, actually. This was the first movie I think I've ever watched with Morgan Freeman in. I loved him in this movie. He was so cool and so badass, and yeah. I loved him in this movie. Kevin Costner's fine, even though he doesn't even attempt to do an accent in the film, but whatever, he's fine for what he does. And I love Alan Rickman in this movie as the Sheriff of Nottingham. He is so great. I love this movie. This is just such a fun movie. This is just so fun. That's the problem I have with a lot of Robin Hood movies. They try to take it so seriously. And yeah, this and the Errol Flynn Adventures of Robin Hood are like my favorites because they're just so much fun to watch. And that's why I love this movie so much. It's not an amazing movie, but it's so fun. Coming number 5 is the movie $1 Million Baby. Yes, a movie that's definitely not fun, but still a great film. This has Clint Eastwood, directed by Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, and Hilary Swank. This is a great movie about boxing. It's about a female boxer and a boxing coach who never teaches females, but he grows attached to this girl and stuff, and they build a relationship, almost kind of like a grandfather-granddaughter sort of relationship, and how he trains her is so great. It's such an uplifting story until the last half, then it gets just really dark and very depressing. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but I think everyone knows the ending to this movie. This is a very hard watch near the ending of the film because it's just so tragic. Because this lead character, you've just been rooting for. These characters you just love so much. The three lead characters are fantastic. The performances are amazing, and you just love how likable these characters are, especially Clint Eastwood. He's a grouchy old bastard, but he is just so great. I even love the supporting cast. You got like Anthony Mackie and Jay Baruchel in the film. They're very good. As Danger, it's so good. I love it. I love boxing movies, and I love Clint Eastwood movies, and I love Morgan Freeman movies, so of course I love this one. Coming number 4 is the entire Dark Knight trilogy. I just went with the entire trilogy because Morgan Freeman is not crucial to the story. He's in every single one of them as Lucius Fox, a guy that helps Batman in all the films, and this is the Morgan Freeman list. This is not like the best movies. This is just what I think are... These are just my favorites of him, and he has to play a crucial role to the film, and as much as he's big in all these films, he's not the main character. He's not Heath Ledger. He's not Christian Bale. Hell, he's not even Michael Caine. So it's definitely not the best Morgan Freeman movie. Because I'm talking about Morgan Freeman. I'm not talking about Batman. I'm not talking about Christian Bale. I'm talking about Morgan Freeman. Him in the Batman movies. And him in all these movies are great. He's so good in these movies. I love him as Lucius Fox. He's so funny. He's so likable. I love all the deals he does with Bruce Wayne and stuff. He's a great businessman. I love how he builds all the tech and stuff. And so great. And I love these movies. Everyone knows that I'm a huge Batman fan. I didn't know if anyone noticed. I'm a big Batman fan. Just so you know. He's great in all these movies. I love The Dark Knight. Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies of all time. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises are both equally fantastic. What Christopher Nolan did with all these films is just amazing. No one will probably ever make a better Batman movie than Nolan, but you know what? Maybe we'll get it, but until then, these are the best. Coming number 3 is The Shawshank Redemption. Yes, the first time I saw Andy Dufresne, and just so great. This is probably one of the best performances by Morgan Freeman. He's great in this movie as the character Red. I love his chemistry with Tim Robbins, Andy Dufresne. I love their relationship and their friendship in the film. This is a very brutal and very realistic movie about prison life, especially during this time period. This movie is directed by Frank Darabont. He did an amazing job with this film, and how it's written and directed, and how the performances are so fleshed out, and just how brutal this movie is. It's just so well done. The whole supporting cast is great. I love these characters. Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman both give Oscar-worthy performances, and just it's an all-around amazing film. Coming number 2 is a bit of a cheat because I'm tying 2 films together because I couldn't decide which movies I liked more, and I think he's just as good in both these films, and I think both these films are just as good together. I think I can't pick a favorite, so I had to put them both at number 2. And those are the movies Glory and Unforgiven. I couldn't decide what ones I liked more. I love both these movies so much. They're both, one of them is one of my favorite war films of all time, and like my favorite Edward Zwick film, and the other one's like my favorite Western and like my favorite Clint Eastwood film, so it was hard to pick a favorite, and Morgan Freeman is not a lead role in either one of them, but he's still equally important in both films, and he gives an equally great performance in each one of them, so it was hard to pick a favorite. I love both of them so much, and Glory's amazing. It's a great movie about Gettysburg, and about race and culture, and the brutality of war, and the brutality of slavery too, and how some of these people were treated. It's an all-around great film. Edward Zwick's direction's fantastic. The action and battle sequences are amazing. Denzel Washington, I think, steals the film. Matthew Broderick, Carrie Ellis, and Morgan Freeman himself is just all amazing. Unforgiven's another great Western. It's my favorite Western of all time. I love how Clint Eastwood directed the film. Clint Eastwood's amazing. I think Gene Hackman steals the film. And Morgan Freeman. I love Morgan Freeman in the movie as well. And they're both all-around great films. I just couldn't pick a favorite, so they're just both tied for number 2. And my number 1 favorite Morgan Freeman movie is, everyone should know what it is, it's that film right there. That's right, Robin Hood. No, Seven. Seven is my favorite Morgan Freeman movie. It's my favorite Fincher movie. It's my favorite Brad Pitt movie. And if I ever made a Kevin Spacey list, it might not be my favorite Kevin Spacey because he's barely in the movie as John Doe, but he still leaves an impact. This movie, I still stand by it. This movie should have been nominated for multiple Academy Awards. I'm baffled that it didn't. This movie is so good. It is one of the greatest crime thrillers I have ever watched. David Fincher's direction is perfect. His direction is spot on. The performances are amazing, the mystery's fantastic, the cinematography, the soundtrack, the score, everything, the meaningful messages, the brutal messages actually that this movie contains is very realistic and very pure and stuff. The conversation these characters have are really intriguing and very humane, and everything about this movie is amazing. I still think to this day Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman both should have been nominated for Best Actor. No supporting, just both of them for actor. Kind of like what they did with F. Murray Abraham and Tom Hulce for Amadeus. They both were nominated for lead actor. Same with this. They are both the main characters, and they both should have given, and they both give great performances, and they both should have been nominated for Best Actor. I can't decide who I like more because they're both amazing. Mills and Somerset are amazing, and they have amazing chemistry, and Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman are both just spectacular in this film. Kevin Spacey's fantastic, so is Gwyneth Paltrow, but these two are amazing. This is probably the best piece of acting I've seen from either one of these two actors for their entire filmography, and that is saying a lot because Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman are both talented guys. But they are amazing in this film. They are so good in this movie. This movie itself is fantastic. It's smart, it's brutal, it's graphic, it's clever. Everything about this movie is amazing. It is hard to watch, but honestly, if you could stand a few disturbing scenes, worth the watch. It is so good. The writing, the direction, the cinematography, how this movie is structuralized and paced, it's amazing. Everything about this movie is incredible, and it's hands down my favorite Morgan Freeman movie ever made. Yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite Morgan Freeman movies. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you read this top 10 list? If not, what is your top 10 favorite Morgan Freeman movies? Comment below, let me know. And as always for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.